This project is progressing very well. I have quilted this sashing, and now I'm going to remove that boundary because I don't need that. I have quilted another row of blocks right here. I use concatenating P2P patterns to do this. So ready to do this next sash. I have the boundary in. Now I have more than one option here. One thing I can do is place the machine foot in the upper left corner and use repeat patterns to place that the patterns in that area. So I'll just put the machine foot right in the upper left corner, and I can go over and get my pattern, and I know how many repeats it takes. It takes looks like 11 repeats. Or I could measure this with a machine head and put this in. So I will go to repeat patterns, and I'm going to just tell it that I want 11 repeats. And I'm going to need one row, so I'll just do that. Then I would have to go in and I would have to move this. I would need to size it to fit and do some adjustments. And you see this sash is not quite straight. I need to change my anchors to the end anchors, make sure my end snap is not on. I can grab this, move it, place it in position, and all of that. That's one way of doing it. But there's another way, and get rid of this and just leave it. Go up and I can get all of the repeats in this row. Need to get rid of that one. It's kind of hard to sometimes select these. And what I could do here is rubber stamp this, hit the escape key to remove this, go and get my side anchors, and just simply move that copy down into place and use the end anchors to position it. That's a good way of doing it. It's quick. And then there's one other way. I can get my geometric line. I'm going to delete that, get my geometric line, and get my P2P icon. Go to about the center of this little sash from top to bottom. I will click the lower right button, then go to the other end, and again stay in the center of that approximately. Click the lower right button, click stop, then hold down the upper right and press the lower right to exit out of that. Okay, it works best if I go down and get the pattern I want to apply to that line. Then I can right click and tell it to apply the pattern and see what happens now. And there it is. I'll zoom in. I want to get rid of this geometric line. I don't need that. I'm going to be ready to stitch this out. I'll need to adjust it. Okay, here we can see that on the end it's on pretty good, and here it's on good. But as we get towards the middle of this, it's off quite a bit. So what I think I'm going to do is hold down the control key. I'm going to select that one, hold down the control key and select this group here. Then I'll grab this end anchor and pull that down a little bit. and go and get this group and use the end anchor to pull it down and turn on end snap and snap it to that. Gotta hold down the control key, go this direction, get my end, and the end anchor, end snap is off. Pull down this just a little tiny bit, like that, and do the same with this other group. Turn on the end snap and snap it. That's good. I can handle that. That looks good. It's another idea of what to do and how to do it. Finish quilting this pattern. I'm going to remove this boundary. It's not needed. Then I'm going to go to my blocks and do the next row of blocks. Okay, my boundary's in. These are the blocks, 5 blocks. Then this is that little two squares wide and 3 squares high right here. I'll quilt that. After I quilt these blocks, I'll use the geometric line to do the diagonals like a crosshatch in there. To do these 5 blocks here, these patterns, I'm going to concatenate these 2 blocks. I'm going to select this one first, hold down the control key, select this one. Then I will just use the P to P to place those in there. All I need to do is click the lower left and lower right corner of each block. So once I do this, and I'll go over to this lower right corner of this, make a click, in the lower right corner of the next one, and all along, it just alternates those patterns as I move the machine and place them in there. Okay, that should be it. So I have my 5 patterns in. I do need to adjust them to fit and be ready to stitch them out. We all know the gray handles are a little bit tricky to work with, but I'm trying something. I have reduced the speed of my pointer here, and see if that can, by slowing it down, see if that will improve how easy it is to move the gray handles. And that appears to be working better than what I had before. The gray handles just really aggravated me because they were so touchy. So I decided to slow down my pointer speed. And how you do that is you can go to Control Panel, you can go to Mouse, and here's some options. Here's the buttons. You can do some things with the buttons. Make the double click. You can increase the speed of it, decrease it. Pointer. Okay. And here's some pointer options. And right here is motion. You can select a pointer speed. You can make it fast or you can make it slow. I slowed it down, and that made it easier for me to use the gray handles. I'll just exit out of all of this, and hopefully that's a little pointer that you can use. That finishes this row of blocks. I did the geometric line to do the corner to corner in these little squares, and now I'm going to delete this boundary. Remember how I drew the boundary down this way, across, up, back, across the bottom, up, back, and all the way around. Now the advantage of that is I'll just click inside, click outside, and hit the delete button, and I delete all of the boundary at one time. I have the right side borders to do. Remember, I did the left side earlier before I quilted any of the interior. Now I'm going to check my location, and it's pretty close, but it's off just a little bit. I'll right click somewhere, go down, relocate, shift all to one point. I'll turn on the end snap, let it snap to that point, click that, click yes, and that is in position, so I can do a boundary and move my patterns into position. I have all of these patterns selected that are going in. Oh, I have the wrong one selected. Go get this bunch right here. They go in this place. Okay, the needle is sitting right there. I'm going to right click, relocate, shift selected to one point. I want to move this point to where the needle is located, and there it is. Now what I'll do here is just remove any patterns that I can't stitch. So I'll remove all of these out of that area, or I could actually just leave them there and toggle this group of patterns as unsewn so that I can stitch them out. That will work. I decided that I wanted to go ahead and remove those out of the way. Okay, here's what I forgot to do. I got these in position, I stitched this all out, and guess what? I forgot to adjust the size. So now I'm in the process of taking all of these stitches out, and I will have to resize them and stitch them again. Now, don't worry, at some point in time this is going to happen to you. So you can see by what I did, this is something to be careful and look out for. I'm going to go ahead and adjust these, and when I get all the stitches out, I will stitch this over again, getting it stitched out at the correct size. Okay, I've got them ready to stitch, but I have all of these stitches to take out. So that's enough for this video, and we will be seeing you later.